Hello, welcome to Shamanism, Metaphysics, and Grace. I'm Lauren Hubele and thrilled to be here again today interviewing my favorite astrologer, Jyoti Wind. Welcome, Jyoti.
Oh, thanks, Lauren.
Jyoti,
Nice to be your favorite astrologer
yeah,
because there's a lot
well,
of them out there.
of course you are. So, Jyoti, we've got a big moon coming up here tomorrow. I'm really curious about this eclipse and the wrap up of eclipse season, right?
For right now, yes, until spring.
Okay.
Yes. So this full moon lunar eclipse tomorrow, October 28th at 2:24 Mountain Daylight Time. Um, it's the last one of the Taurus Scorpio eclipses that we've been having over the past year and a half or so. Now they'll move into more of Aries Libra. And so this eclipse has 6 planets in fixed signs. So it's very much about kind of people kind of digging their heels in and saying, well, this is what I believe to be true, or this is what I feel, or this is what I'd like to see happen. And yet at the same time, it's also asking you to really look at what nurtures you and what no longer nurtures you, and to, of course, let go of things. I feel like at every moon phase, we look at what is it time to let go of, but we're also in that Scorpio time frame of the year, moving up to Samhain, Halloween. And so we're in that period of the year of having harvested our goods, in some way from the garden, let's say, and from life. And so we're getting ready to go into a more contemplative time frame of winter. Animals hibernate, people go inside, especially in the colder climates. And so it's fairly introspective in its own way, even though it's a full moon, because the sun is conjuncting Mercury and Mars.
Hmm. So what might we be feeling because of that conjunction?
Um, I would think that there is that opportunity for introspection over the next 3 to 6 months because it's an eclipse with Mercury 5 degrees away from the sun. And with Mars there, a degree away from Mercury, it's a time of vocalizing, vocalizing things that maybe have remained private, secret. Um, there may be some pieces of information coming out that you had no idea about, in certain situations. It could be political, could be public, could be private, could be familial. And so it's a time of introspection, but also giving voice to things.
Hmm. So I'm hearing this like a time of going inward, noticing or becoming aware of something that then you might reveal.
You might reveal, you might share with other people.
Mm.
And because of that full moon pull, that magnetic pull of the sun and moon opposition, there's, looking at that balance of self and other, looking at, somebody born during a full moon, there's this polarity that they're born into. And so there's always this feeling of, well, if I feel this way, obviously other people are opposing me, the sun moon opposition, how it manifests in day to day life. And so my advice is always go over there and inquire. They might not feel opposite you, they might feel exactly the same as you. So, in this situation, with this full moon, it might be good for some inquiry,
Mm. Mm.
see what's going on over there.
It's interesting how that inquiry is connected with curiosity. And when we bring our curiosity to something, things tend to soften.
Absolutely. Absolutely, because you're asking into a situation to show itself to you instead of going in with preconceived ideas of what you think it should be or could be or want it to be, you know? So you're in a kind of innocent and reflective and receiving place.
Hmm. Well, what you said just describes this Mercury and Mars conjunction perfectly, right? We're in this reflective space, but then we can articulate what we're seeing or feeling.
Right. And it's a Scorpio full moon, so we are um, perhaps needing mm, some mindfulness about how we put things.
Good morning, Jyoti.
Yeah, there might be needed some mindfulness there so that we're not blurting. I mean, some people naturally blurt. That's just part of their makeup, you know.
Right.
But it's best to, I think, tread lightly but be authentic with yourself.
Oh, I like that.
You know, I mean, and then looking at the moon in Taurus, Jupiter is near the moon. And so there's an expansiveness around availability. There's an expansive around practical application of what you find out, of what you learn, what you figure out, or what's shown to you. And there's an expansiveness around, can be an expansiveness around stubbornness, but there also can be an expansiveness around emotional availability.
Hmm.
People who are willing to be more emotionally available, check in, see what's happening, share their feelings, share what's going on, giving language to feelings. But there's still, it's a full moon, you know, and so poetically, I've probably said this before, but poetically, I always feel like an opposition longs in its sleep to become a conjunction, you
Hmm.
know, which is then the new moon. But this is when the sun and moon have gone as far away from each other as possible. They'll be moving now toward coming together toward the new moon. But right now, there's an opportunity to see things that in our own human myopia we might not see at the new moon.
So looking at things that maybe came up during the new moon with a different lens.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And this being an eclipse rather than just a monthly full moon, it carries more weight. It's, you know, with the planet Uranus in Taurus, I didn't look to see how much longer it's in Taurus. It's a 7-year cycle usually, and we're probably a good 2/3 of the way through. But the planet Uranus is the planet of change, usually unexpected. It rules Aquarius. And so when it's in Taurus, Taurus is the land. And so we see with Uranus moving through Taurus, land upheavals. We see, volcanic eruptions, especially earthquakes. We see all, Saturn is in Pisces with Neptune, and so we see lots of flooding and things like that because Pisces is a water sign. And so, over the next year and a half, maybe 2 years, I think we'll see an equal amount, if not more, of that.
Interesting. Okay. I really want to go back, Jyoti. There was something you said that's still kind of spinning in me of meeting this stubbornness with and you use it like curiosity and openness and I think that's a wonderful, whether you meant it or not, piece of advice for all of us right now, that when we sense that stubbornness in someone is to step in with more emotional availability for them.
Yes, and as much flexibility as you can muster.
Wow, I like that.
Because not every situation is, sometimes we're surprised. We step into a situation or a conversation with somebody, and maybe it's not going exactly the way we think it's going to go, or maybe we had a preconceived idea that, oh, it would go like this, and then all of a sudden there's a little bit of shock value there where the other person goes, no, I can't do this right now, or, this is not how I thought it was going to go. And so you have to kind of be flexible enough to change gears, to step back, view the situation through maybe softer eyes or new eyes, and look at it for what it is and what it can be, and not get into a blaming or a disappointment, or, I mean, that's where our expectations and the way we think it should go gets in our way. And so um, this is an opportunity, I feel, this full moon eclipse, this lunar eclipse, to look at the balance there and how flexible can you be when it's time to shift.
Mhm. When I'm listening to you, the word agility comes up.
Yeah, you've got Mars there. I mean, it is in Scorpio, which is a little more fixed, a little more, adamant, or, in the way it wants to see things. But Mars with Mercury, it can bring agility.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah,
And that's not to say that it might not manifest a different way. It might not, it might manifest where, um, there's ideas that are put out that are not perhaps in the best interests of most people. I mean, we're looking at, the global stage right now,
yeah,
and it's not a birthday party, let's say. It's pretty intense, and this eclipse is also holding the global table, let's say, and how people come to that table and what they bring to that table, and their own personal agendas in relationship to, the other participants at the birthday party. And so um, there's also the idea that people can have an opportunity to really look at their own agendas and how they work with other people and how they don't.
yeah, yeah. Sounds like a good opportunity.
It is an opportunity, as you said, to follow your curiosity, and to hold space, even if it's not going the way you think it might go, but to still hold space for um, a good outcome.
Yeah, yeah. Well, an outcome that serves the greater good.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah,
I
rather,
mean, yeah, that's why we're here, in a sense,
right?
to hold that kind of space until that kind of space can be what is.
Yeah. Yeah, rather than our own personal agenda, which seems to drive most of us.
Well, yes, yes, yes. I mean, that's the human condition at this point in time.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, for all of us.
That's a lot of wisdom in there, Jyoti. Is there anything else you'd like to share?
Um, I, the transiting nodes, the north node and the south node, are still squaring Pluto. I mean, this will shift after a bit, but they're still squaring Pluto. So there's always this push right now to really look at where you might give your power away, and where, the right use of power is to step in, embrace it, own it, and help everybody around you step into theirs.
Mhm.
So there's always that little tagline there about the node squaring Pluto for a while yet.
Good. Important reminders.
Yep.
Great, Jyoti. Sounds like we all have some material to work with for these next
Yes.
weeks. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no chance of getting bored right now.
No, no. Well, good. Thank you. Thanks so much for sharing this today.
You're very welcome.